Hello, and welcome back to Shrink by Quint. Each week we delve into the intricacies of psychotherapy to empower you with knowledge and insights that foster a healthier, happier life. Because after all, your health is your wealth. Today we're revisiting a deceptively simple idea that how we think directly shapes how we feel and how we live. We're examining Cognitive Analytic Therapy, or CAT, and briefly comparing it to the more familiar cognitive behavioral therapy. But the heart of today's episode lies in a few subtle but powerful mental habits CAT helps us name and explore: snags, traps, and dilemmas. These are the thought patterns that quietly pull the rug out from under us, again and again. Let's start with the difference between CAT and CBT. CBT is brilliant for helping people change how they think in the present. It teaches you to challenge negative thoughts, disrupt faulty beliefs, and take more helpful actions. But CAT goes further upstream. It asks, where did those thoughts come from? Who did we learn them from? What relationship patterns shaped them? CAT combines cognitive psychology with a more relational psychoanalytic lens. It typically lasts 8 to 16 sessions and includes a collaborative written reformulation letter, and often uses diagrams to trace the emotional logic behind your patterns. But why does this matter? Because most of our thoughts, especially the limiting ones, aren't conscious choices. They're habits, often shaped in childhood and reinforced through relationships. You might not even notice the script you're reading from. It just feels like the truth. So let's say you grew up believing that love had to be earned, that being good meant putting other people's needs first. That belief might now show up as a fear of saying no, or a tendency to overextend yourself until you're burned out. And then you might blame yourself for that too. The loop tightens. So this is where CAT's 3 thought distortions come in. The first is Snags, short for self-defeating narratives affecting goals. These are the sneaky ways we sabotage our own progress. We say no to opportunities that we secretly long for. We tell ourselves, I'm not good enough, not because it's true, but because it's familiar. And then we have traps. These are patterns that seem like solutions, but actually keep the problem going. A classic example, avoidance. We avoid social events to reduce anxiety, but then we never gather the evidence that it might be okay. And finally, dilemmas. The either-or thinking that leaves us no good options. I must either be strong and alone, or loved and weak. I must either speak up and be rejected, or stay silent and be safe. Now, can you see these are not logical positions, but that they feel, for the person, emotionally true? They limit flexibility, they narrow our range of choice, and they often go unexamined for years, even lifetimes. The gift of CAT is that it helps us see these habits without judgment, because these are not failings, they're adaptations, once useful, now outdated. By naming the pattern, we create the possibility of loosening its grip, of rewriting the script. And sometimes just naming it is enough to begin the shift. As Carl Jung put it with quiet precision, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Thanks for listening to Shrink by Quint. If today's episode resonated, feel free to subscribe, share it with someone you care about, or leave a review. It really helps keep me going. Until next time, be kind to your mind, and remember, your health is your wealth.